right. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Welcome to our holiday episode. But listen, the background, us obviously, if you're checking us out audibly, you don't really get this, but our background is not here. But wait a
Oh
minute.
no, what
Count it down,
happened?
Kelly. Count it down. Give it to us. Three,
5, 4,
four,
3,
three,
2,
two. Happy
1.
holidays. Okay.
Yay!
The reality is it was an error, but when have you came to Difficult Podcasters and there hasn't been an error?
Happy holidays.
Yeah. What do you think about the whole spirit? I think the first question I had for you. Oh, first of all, this is Randomly Ronnie Jr. along with Kelly. Oh, my first question to you is, how does the holidays? Is it any different because you're a Sagittarius birthday? I feel like all things December, it's all celebration. That's got to feel a little bit different.
It does. It's when all growing up, it was kind of a bummer because everybody was getting ready to go for Christmas vacation or they have Christmas parties or all kinds of stuff. So celebrating my birthday on my actual birthday was always a little bit tough. Even now. So I don't, so I just do month-long celebration. So we're just celebrating all month long. It ends on New Year's Eve.
All year long. Oh, I mean, all month long. Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's going to go to next year.
Mm. I guess the first thing is, in terms of decoration, is there ever too much decoration that you can have? Is there certain rules like, okay, if you're going to decorate the day after Thanksgiving, that's when the Christmas tree lights go, Christmas tree comes in. That's when the lights around the house go up. What are your rules for that? Is less more or is more in your opinion?
I mean, if I had it my way, I would totally be like a Griswold Christmas every year, which if you're familiar with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, I mean, the house is completely like covered in lights. There's a huge tree, lots of decorations everywhere. Like I love all that. I don't have time for all of that, but I definitely believe more is more. So
Sounds like you should hire somebody. That's what
I
that's what
know,
that's
I
coming down
know.
to.
One of these years.
I think more is more because I'm gonna equate all the things, if you don't mind. I'm gonna kind of break it down in terms of like when we get to Halloween and then when we get to Thanksgiving and when we get to the holiday like Christmas or whatever you celebrate, this season. I always say it like this, and I think you've heard me say this, Kelly. We in life, especially once you become a grown up and, even every year you become more of an adult and more responsibility, more heartache even, but also a lot of celebration and love too. But I always tell people like, and I'm going to start back in Halloween. I always, 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 always go get a pumpkin and do a jack-o'-lantern. Now, in that regard, you possibly could do that if you have a big group of people with you, or, you have your nieces and nephews or whatever, but I don't have any nieces and nephews, but I still do the jack-o'-lantern. But my thoughts are, why not come out of your cool for just a moment and like be festive, especially people like
Totally.
you and I who, people think we're sweet, but the truth is we could be
I mean,
do they really? Yeah. Have they been watching this show? No. But I'm saying like people, we're a little bit grumpy at times, and I'm owning at least my part of that. Like I could be very grumpy, but I will never, unless there's a time constraint, like you said, being very busy with work and stuff, I'll always say, no, 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 no. I'm doing a jack-o'-lantern. No, 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 no. I'm getting those lights up, or getting the Christmas tree in a festive spirit. And that's even a fake Christmas tree, a real Christmas tree. And again, whatever you celebrate, this is not exclusive to Christmas. It's the whole holiday festive spirit. I just feel like there's so many challenges. I mention this all the time. We're in a 24-hour news cycle. Things are just so many times that if you have one chance to be festive, bitch, do it.
I know.
That should be on my Christmas card.
It should be.
If you have one chance to be festive, bitch, do it.
That's your Christmas card. We're gonna make that. We're gonna make that happen. It's gonna be a digital card this year.
Yes. And you were saying something too, in regards of the holiday spirit.
Well, no, I just think it's crazy that just like retail wise, I feel like Christmas decorations were in stores so much earlier. Like before even Halloween was over, you could already shop for Christmas. So it's so nuts that I think it's just getting earlier and earlier. I mean, I start watching, Christmas in July on Hallmark in July. So I love
Absolutely not.
anything to do
Absolutely. You psychopaths who are Christmas and Julyers, I cannot handle you.
Oh, I'm loving
Don't
it.
talk to me. Don't comment at me. You are no, but you like that.
I do.
Can you explain?
I do.
Actually, last year, didn't we celebrate it? Why did we celebrate it last year?
Well, no, we did. We talked about it. You made fun of me and like all that. And I don't care because I will fully
first time ever.
I will fully embrace it. And one of my favorite things to do on my birthday when I was living in LA, and all my friends can attest to it, was I would go to Disneyland on my birthday because their Christmas decorations, they infuse A Nightmare Before Christmas into all the rides and all the decor around Disneyland. And I love it. I think it's fantastic. And it was always like so beautiful to go and see. So at California Adventure, which is right across from Disneyland, they serve alcohol. So we get there in the morning, start with some Irish coffees, get all nice and tipsy, and run around the park.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could see it for that regard. And I just so we're clear, we mentioned the reason I don't like Disneyland as much as maybe the other person who's in the LA area is because we worked in radio. So we were at Disneyland all the time. And it was like, you know, I loved the radio station work. I'm not saying I didn't, but you did radio station work. You went every new attraction to Disneyland for a live remote broadcast. You did every Christmas holiday. So to me, I'm not knocking Disneyland per se. I'm just saying at the price point, it's redundant to me.
Oh no, totally.
So that makes sense, right? Like I'm not completely Scrooge. Although
no, you're totally right. But I remember the first time because I didn't get to go to Disneyland as a kid. So the first time I ever went was working at Kiss FM when they debuted like the Tower of Terror.
Oh,
like,
okay.
That ride is now like a Guardians of the Galaxy ride, but that was the first time I ever got to go to Disneyland. And
so maybe for you, it's all things encompassing. It's like,
I think it's like that little childish, child thing. And now our whole family is gone and it's been a thing. It just was something we couldn't do when we were younger. But since I live there and I got season passes and, the whole family came out, we all spent a Christmas there. So it was fun. So it was always just a fun thing to do for my birthday. And I get a birthday button and then get to skip all the lines. And I did the whole night.
Yeah.
I don't know if they let you do it anymore, but they used to. Like when you had a birthday button, you could skip and go to the front line. But
I think it's an accentuated version of my jack-o'-lantern theory, where me, Ronnie, as a regular person, it's like, so much to deal with. Again, I'm somewhat of a sweet guy as well, but always saying, ugh, rolling my eyes at everybody. I'm a grumpy Gus. And I'm not saying you're that, but I'm saying you on a daily or a weekly basis, it's, this bit of work that you have to do and running from this meeting to this meeting. Kelly is a get SHIT done type of gal. We all know that. That's what we've loved and learned about her from the jump. So you breaking free and just being like, I'm the #1 person in Disneyland. I could kind of see it. And then you add festivities because you've never been to Disneyland for your birthday when it wasn't ding dong, ding dong, like celebration, right?
Right.
Never. Oh, no. Wow. Okay.
So it was great. And then, and it was awesome being able to do those grad nights where the whole park is closed when we worked at the radio station and you get to run amok and all of that, which was really fun. So a lot of the fun kind of kid-like things I got to do with the radio station, it really kind of let me be silly and free and not always so I got to work all the time. And so for the holidays, that's what I like to do. I mean, I love to do like pumpkin carving parties and, things like that when you can set aside time to do that. I think it gets a little harder, the older that you get because your circle becomes a little smaller just because, everybody's got their families and things, penciling in that time gets hard with all the kids' activities and all these other things. But I try to when I can. I love that you did one this year, which is great.
Every year.
I love it. I love it that that's a priority for you.
I have a question for you in a second, but first, if you could tell me, because we're talking about holiday spirit, and it made us think of radio and broadcast, and radio, it's a great medium. However, it's always brought to you by something, and I got to tell you, our show as well is brought to you by Viridian Row, where creativity never goes out of style. Kelly, if you don't mind, take it away and let me know what they're all about.
Oh, yes. Meridian Row is such a cute small business. They have a lot of graphic t-shirts, hand-painted tiles, that they do new vintage and resale stuff. The movie quote t-shirts, I think, are my favorite. They are so fun. Some of the best lines in cinema they've got thrown on t-shirts. And for the holiday season, they've got Christmas t-shirts. So you'll find quotes from, like I mentioned, a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, from Home Alone, from Christmas with the Cranks. You'll also find, a Christmas Story and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So there's a lot of fun little quote shirts that you can go to their website and check out.
Yeah. And you always hear friends talk about like, oh, that was my day one. Well, Difficult Podcasters is a monumentally big podcast that millions of people are enjoying. So I say in my brain, manifesting. And they were our day one. They were a day one supporter. Viridian Rose said, we like what you're doing. It's different. It's unique. Originally, it started as a recap of the TV show, I should tell you. The TV show Difficult Podcasters, where we would watch it. It's
Difficult
the Hulu
people.
series. Oh, okay. Okay. I mess up a lot. That's what it started.
One and the same.
It started out as us watching Hulu's Difficult People and us having like similar stories, being completely different but similar. And we did a recap. And then once that was done, it was like the show was over, but we said, let's keep going. And now you have this fine show. But yes, thank you so much to Viridian Row. They've provided us quote t-shirts as well. We've worn here on the program. My question to you that I had was, how do you feel about well, you have nieces and nephews, don't you?
I have a niece. Yes.
Okay.
I have a niece, but I have a lot of little cousins too. So there's lots of kids running around.
I don't have any, like technically I don't have any nieces and nephews or whatever, but I've been really at that stage where I'm adoring when I have a friend that has a kid and they're like, oh, you're Gunkle Ronnie. Like, I think that is so freaking cute. And so I'm at that stage where I'm like really moving into my gunkleness.
Well, and I've had friends with kids, and one of my best friend,
I just made up that word. Well, not gunkle, but gunkleness.
Her daughter came to spend a week with me in LA when she was like 13, 14, and I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with this teenager? But we ended up going to Disneyland and the beach, and we did all the fun stuff. So I've kind of always had, like kids around, and I like having fun and doing kid things. It's funny because kids like me. I got accosted by a little kid at the grocery store the other day that just was like following me around and just like laughing. It's so funny.
Not me with it, like it's got to be my friends and family. Like if you're just like this was just someone you did not know.
Random kid. I was standing and he just like comes over. He has to be like 2, if that. And he's like coming over with his parents, and he's just like following me, and they're just like, they're not really understanding what he's doing. And I just turned around and I would look at him, and I just said hi, and I kind of like knelt down and got kind of face to face with him, and he was just like laughing, and then I was like, okay, bye. And then I like walked up, and he kept following me, and like the parents were like, oh my gosh, she's like really into you. And I'm like, can you get your kid?
Get your mangy kid with the snot nose away from me. Parents of these types of kids, and also dog owners. Now, don't get sensitive because you're a dog owner. Don't be a dog owner or have your little kid and assume the assumption. I guess this is more of a dog thing than a kid thing, but the assumption that I want to engage with your mangy mutt, that's an assumption. But what if I don't like dogs though? What if I got bit by a Rottweiler? Well, you do, but do you hear what I'm saying? I'm not saying no to dogs. I think they're cute, but because so many people, when you walk your dog, they're like, oh, your dog is so cute. And they're always talking with you. Well, when your dog starts sniffing on the person and the person is me, and I give you a side eye and a know that means get your freaking dog away from me and stop assuming that I like it. I got bit by a Rottweiler and I had 16 stitches in my hand. So I'm not exactly okay with the mangy mutt.
Well, then don't come near me when I've got my dog.
No, but it's the dog's coming near me. Oh my. Now you're trying to tell me I got to cross the street because the dog
cross the street.
This one is a 4-time dog owner. So we're just going to abort this sentence in this conversation because she's going to defend her dogs. I made a good point. I made a good point.
No, you do. And honestly, like I don't appreciate that either. I try not to let my dogs do that. I always kind of, try to keep them at a close range when there's other people walking by, because you don't know people are allergic to dogs, if they're scared of dogs, whatever, or especially if it's muddy or raining, I don't want them jumping up on people and getting them dirty, because that's just not cool. So I do try to be respectful of that.
And I know that you are good. I was a dog sitter of 2 of your dogs.
Yes.
I always bring it up like I won the award.
Yes.
No, but I will say also the thing about the dog, you don't know what the personal experience is.
Right.
So if it's a little tinier dog, I guess it's a little more okay. And it is cutesy or whatever. But don't assume that because 7 people you walked your dog, in the neighborhood, 7 people had like said, oh, they're cute, and they touched them and licked them or whatever people do to strange dogs. I would never.
Please don't lick my dog.
I know, like, get away from her dog. Yeah. No, but for me, it's like, because I got bit by the Rottweiler, I'm not very like comforted with the dog unless you kind of tell me or I know. Suddenly the dog's like jumping up on me, licking me, messing up my pants, like
yeah. I try not to do that, especially because with my new dog, like he's yes, you did. He's a really big dog, so I took him trick-or-treating and little kids were kind of running up to him and I was kind of holding him back, and I would tell parents, hold on, like, he's friendly, but I don't know how friendly he is. So watch your kid, don't. That's
right.
Thing too.
It
Don't
could be a liability for you.
Dogs. Like that's a bad look for any parent. Never just let your kid run up to a dog, even if they look nice, they might not be nice.
Listen, if I see a dog coming up to me unwanted, the first look that I have is this. Shock and awe. Get away from me.
Back to the holidays. Okay, so tell me, what is your? Are there any new holiday movies out that you've watched this year?
No, I haven't really followed them.
Did you watch the Lindsay Lohan movie?
No, I did not. I probably will not. I think that I'm getting a little more. I think we're getting a little out of hand with, like, there was a brand of like the Hallmark movie or the Lifetime movie. I would really prefer the ones that are like Love Actually, Scrooged, the ones that are actually Christmas.
Well, did you see so you haven't then, that Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell did a new version of Scrooged. It's called Spirited.
Oh, that's going to be a rough one for me on account of
musical.
Okay, then maybe we'll try it. Maybe, but on account of what I was going to say, on account of Will Ferrell was the most overrated, loved performance and adored performance of Elf I've ever, like, there's nothing that makes me more uncomfortable
like that movie
than how it's not a funny movie. It's like,
how dare you?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm like, I liked him on SNL or whatever, but he just and then I start to think like physical comedy. Let's think of the physical comedians, like I love like Mike Myers, I love Bill Murray. I don't know if Bill Murray's as much physical comedy. Oh, that's the movie I watch every year. A Very Merry Christmas. And Scrooge. Yeah. But Elf is so off-putting to me. So it's a New York City story. So, I usually like the New York show, things. No, what an odd take. I mean, it's interesting at the beginning. You see the story being told by some of the greats in TV. What is it? Ed Asner and what's the other guy's name from one is from Mary Tyler Moore. Oh, well, he was from Mary Tyler Moore. Anyways, and James Caan is in it as well. Mary Steenburgen. On the younger side, Zooey Deschanel. Everyone is in it and it should work. But I'm like, so when you hear musicians put out music, and you're like, oh, they must have had yes people around them because this is not very good. I think Will Ferrell must have had like who put this together and said, yeah, let's not do another take. This is okay. I mean,
it's absolutely okay. I love that movie.
What makes it? Let's do. We're gonna have to do on Twitch maybe. We don't have a Twitch. We don't have a Patreon. We really don't have nothing except for this. Well, you know why though? Because you, bah humbugs, aren't commenting, liking, and subscribing. All you're doing is watching.
We'll do some TikToks. We'll do
for
some
free.
TikToks.
Yeah. Ugh. Even when I try to be festive, you piss me off. No. Watch our show for free. Who do you think you are? What was I saying, Kelly? What was I saying?
So you're not into Elf. What about, have you ever seen Christmas with the Cranks? I know we talked about this last year, and you hadn't seen it, and I told you to watch it.
It was on assignment, and I did all your Halloween assignments. I did neglect to jump to this one. But honestly, like Scrooge does it for me. Bill
Murray is good in that one. That's a great one.
Now where I'm soft and sensitive, I'm not above though. I watch the I must be 95 years old and a grandparent. I watch with my hearing aid.
Mhm.
I watch the NBC Christmas lighting up Rockefeller Center. I watch that.
Okay.
Nobody I know watches that. No one of my age, my ilk.
Mhm.
I watch anything of that vein. If Mariah Carey has a Christmas thing, a holiday thing, I will watch it.
Mhm.
Kelly Clarkson, if she's singing Christmas music, holiday music, I'm going to watch. So
Okay.
I can't make it like I'm too above Elf. I just don't laugh at the movie.
Okay. Okay. Well, what about Home Alone? That's
Oh,
considered a Christmas movie.
wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful, both of them. Can you decide which one's better?
I mean, to me, they're completely different from each other, but they're both equally funny. I
Mhm.
mean, Home Alone, Joe Pesci and oh, why is his name escaping me? But the Wet Bandits are hilarious,
Yeah.
and Macaulay Culkin was great, and all like the little things that they do. I mean, all the sequels I think were a little bit much, but I do think that it's definitely a fun family movie, and we watch it every year.
What
Another
is the
one.
what real quick? What is the
Uh,
movie? Oh, here it goes. I guess it's a holiday movie. Family Stone. That one
oh, The Family
is
Stone is a
absolutely a
great
really good one. Yeah,
movie. It
I
is
think
such
that's
a good
a
movie.
that's a must-have every year, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
That one's a little bit more dramatic, but it is such a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I definitely
Yeah.
suggest you check it
It's it
out.
it is dramatic, but at the ages that we are, everyone has we've had loss, multiple loss
Yeah.
on occasion. So if anything, it really just brings in the to unify. And I don't know where you stand, and I'm not necessarily saying anything here, but there's so many times where your family can sort of based on age even like kind of grow apart. People have
Right.
new you know they have to go this one and that one has to go celebrate with different in-laws or
Mhm.
whatever. It's just the concept of like when I guess the matriarch passes,
Mhm.
um what do you do? And I think it's special in such a way because I feel like we all have a relatability to how hard it gets to kind of bring people together, after. And you just got to do the work. You got to do the work.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I'm pretty happy about this year. And even the last couple of years, I've been doing a really good job at least trying to like connect people because it's not an easy thing anymore.
No, it isn't. I mean, it's the same in our family. Like my grandmother on my mom's side was kind of the matriarch for all of us getting together. We always had holidays at her house. And when she passed away a few years ago, it's been God, it's been like 10 years now. It's been hard to kind of get everyone together. We've probably only done it a couple of times since she's passed away, but we're doing it next weekend.
Mm,
Myself, my sister, and one of my other cousins, we kind of arranged to do it again. So we're all coming back together. So that'll be really nice. But it is, you have to make the effort. You have to take the time to do it. And someone has to kind of step up and take the reins. And we've decided to. And the last couple times we did it, I think we were the ones that arranged it to do it.
yeah.
So it's just kind of like,
If
making it
you,
happen. But I think it's great. I think I'm excited for it. And I mean, it'll probably be our own version of that movie. We'll
yeah,
see.
that's why the movies are
Like the
relatable.
dramatic parts. But I mean, for all the family holiday movies, because you get that many people together and it's like, chaos is bound to ensue. But
Can I ask you what you think about holiday parties, holiday etiquette, and even balancing get-togethers because this is the season of getting together. And
mhm.
even for me, this year coming up, I'll have three things to do um, on one day. And I'm not even like that social. I'm very much, I love to go out and be around people and stuff, but I'm much more of a homebody in general. But yet, because it's the holiday season, I've got three things to do in one day. So, Kelly, I want you to tell me
Wow.
A, how do I juggle that? And B, what is holiday etiquette in terms of what you should bring to the get together? How festive do you want to dress up? Give me some of your go-tos when it comes to something like that.
Well, it all depends on what the event is, but it's always good etiquette to bring something to a holiday event. You can, depending upon if who's hosting, you can't really go wrong with bringing alcohol. Whether you bring
Mm-hmm.
a bottle of wine or you bring champagne or whatever, that's always kind of easy because it's something you can share and it's easy. So it's either that or you know, like a food dish, depending on what you're doing. But oh, you should always bring something. It's just good etiquette to do that. And as far as if I had 3 things to do, I would literally have 3 outfits in my car. Like I
Oh,
couldn't wear like that's just how crazy I am. Like
because
I
of
would have to change.
photographs or what?
No, just it's just kind of a thing. Like I always have to change
Wow.
from one thing to the other to get myself
Okay.
kind of in a mode for something different
How
because
funny.
probably each thing is different.
Well, one is significantly different and it's a little more on the somber side, but still will be a great get together to a degree. I won't go in detail, but the other ones are completely fun and they're so similar. And then here's the thing that makes it terrible. One of those things was going to be like 5 p.m. to evening. So I was like, oh, great. I'll just end my night there. But then that get together changed to be also at the same time as the other one.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm like, oh, great. So there's 2 get togethers and they're at the same time. And then secondly, I look at this group over here and then I look at this group over here and they're so similar. I'm like, can we meet in the middle? Because they would all like the same thing, you know?
So then it's like, how much time do you spend at each, right? So you have to, that becomes the difficult part because it's like you can say, okay, I'll spend like 2 hours here and then I'll go to the next one. But if they're at the exact same time, like how many hours is that and how far are they from each other? Like
and that's the hard question. Let's just go holiday get together. Let's take the somber one out of it or because that's I have to for sure go to this thing. And so I'll go. That's priority. But then you have real good friend and then you have real good family friend. Real good family friend should be the priority because it's been like family friends are, you know, people you've known for 20-30 years,
right? But
then on one hand, because you see them all the time, you can maybe miss that one. But then on the other hand, those are the people that always have your back till the end.
Right.
You have to go to that one. But then the other one is like a close friend of mine. And also too, this particular gal, she just got a divorce, not super recently. She's dating another woman and it's going to be really festive and like it's her new little apartment, which she was a bit, not to give all her information, but you know, she used to live in a home. Now she's in an apartment. I want to be there for her like glow up experience. Like she even said like, oh, I want you to meet my new girlfriend, this and this.
Okay. Well, I would go to that one first and end at the family friend because then you can show up whenever because y'all are cool like that. So I would go to the close friend first, spend however much time you can there, but just before the other one's over, just make sure to do a pop in just so you
and the friend who, like I said, the recently divorced, whatever, not recent as much, but a year divorce, new apartment, a lot of newness in this person's life. There might be some trickling of like, you know, a friend of a friend of a friend that I might dive into, you know what I mean?
I mean,
like,
yeah, I would definitely go there
selfish.
So you definitely want to go there first. So you're looking your best, right? So you've had a chance to freshen up. You're going to the next point. And then by the time you get to the family friend, I mean, whatever, you don't have to impress anybody. They know you. They already know. So
know and love.
They know and love. You can be a little sloshed and it's all right.
Yeah. Oh, well, then I will be joining the party because they'll be there already. I'll be like, can I catch up? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
So, okay. So just kind of like prioritize what's the most important, have a change of clothes and don't show up without that glass of wine, you know, some type of food item or whatever. Okay. I like it. Do you get stressed out over the too many holiday events and stuff like that? Or is that more of like an exciting thing?
Yeah, I used to. But I just don't have as many anymore because now it's like everybody just kind of like pick a day and everybody kind of comes together, which makes it so much easier. So there's a lot less of having to hop around to different places because now I'm in a place where most of my people, they all know each other. Before everybody was all different groups. So you have to can't really combine. So it's a lot easier now. But before I used to, because I am the worst at losing track of time. Like I'll be like, oh, I'll just be here for an hour, and then like 3 hours later, it's like shit.
That's the hard part. That's you got to almost set an alarm, like as if you're going to a job. Yeah. I wanted you to expound on if there is any Christmas movies, holiday movies that really do touch and affect you in a certain way. But beyond that, actually, go with that first, and then I'll jump into the next part because you asked me what I thought, and I mentioned a lot of things I liked. The only thing I didn't mention, I said it last year's holiday episode. I love Rent as a Christmas movie because if people want to make the case for Die Hard as a Christmas movie, you have to say Rent is one too because it's literally 365 days a year around Christmas Eve. So shut up. Angel is dressed.
Absolutely a Christmas movie, by the way.
Thank you. Kelly be knowing stuff. So did you already mention all of the ones that kind of hold close to you?
I mean, the Christmas Vacation is probably the most relatable because like the crazy family and all the stuff that kind of goes wrong. It's funny, my mom and I were talking about this the other day because I am not a fan of A Christmas Story, and so many people love that movie and I just cannot get down with it. I don't like to watch it. My mom will watch it all day long. Totally gets on my nerves. Her and my sister, blah. But she was telling me, she was like, well, you just don't get the sentiment because you didn't grow up like that. And I'm like, no, I grew up like Christmas Vacation. That's why I love that movie. And that's like the difference between the generations. And it's just funny to look at it that way because I feel like that's why I relate so much to that movie because of like the chaos and the family stuff and all of that. And she does the same, but with A Christmas Story. And it's like set in a different, more like her era and like all that. So it's just kind of funny to look at them that way. But I mean, I love all things Christmas. Like I said, so I'll sit and watch all the Hallmark movies that are like on rolls all day long. And then I love now that like Netflix has gone on that train. Hulu's got jumped on that train. Like all these other streamers are now doing their own versions of Christmas movies, which is always fun.
Yeah. Last year on Netflix, I did watch that single all the way. But some of the Netflix ones are just going to they're just like not as Hallmark. They're not as fun as the regular Christmas in theater movies, I think sometimes. Is what I'm starting to feel.
Well, because those are more like love stories.
Yeah.
And
I don't need to see Lacey
like...
Charvet or whatever her name is in everything. Like, come on.
Oh, I mean, I don't know how like deep we want to talk about this, but the whole like controversy with Candace Cameron Bure, like leaving Hallmark to go to Great American Country and all the comments that she's made and all that. Like
let's talk about it. We have 3 minutes. What's your opinion on it?
Well, I mean, I think
we have more than 3 minutes.
I think it's interesting. I mean, of course, we all know like how into being a Christian she is, and her brother, they're very religious and all of that, which I totally get. I respect, whatever. But I just felt it was a little, how do I want to say, like ignorant to make the comments that she has. Well, you can't be exclusive, but then sit there and, want to push, oh, but I am inclusive. I love everybody. Well, no, you don't. It's like she just keeps contradicting herself. And people believe what they believe, do what you want, whatever. If you choose not, you don't like her, don't watch her stuff. I mean, it really can be that simple if you let it be. But it doesn't make it right. There's so many things that are wrong about all of that. And it just is crazy to me, just like how much it's blown up and the divisiveness it's causing. And it's just like, change the channel, change the channel.
I guess, like, why? I mean, on a business standpoint, I get it. But like, why does it need to be marketed? If that is what you're going to choose to do, please just go choose to do that.
Don't draw focus to it.
But
they're thinking that they're going to draw in that community that wants to be just like them, I think was the marketing play, which is so stupid in my opinion. Like, that's just not the message you want to put out in the world. Believe what you want, but don't divide. Like, no one should ever be divisive. And no matter in what way or realm you choose to believe in a spiritual world, whether it's God, Buddha, whatever it is that you believe in, you can't believe. And if you do, it just like, to me, that whatever it is going to want to proactively be divisive.
Yeah.
Like,
and another thing, like choose your sins, I suppose. Like, you're so, like you make one draw the line based on this particular, what you would think is like a lifestyle, but you're accepting because of everything else. Like if you're gonna be that much about the sin, that means people who have had divorce can't watch your programming. That means people who don't practice religion frequently and weekly, they can't watch your programming. But to just choose one thing, it's the BS. It's the BS.
And that's the problem, is you can't just choose the one thing that matches your whatever your goal is, or whatever your agenda is. Like, if you're going to do it, then do it. But you can't pick and choose which commandment you want to push. It's just like, I can't stand that about it, because then it's not about being spiritual or being a Christian at all. It's just about being an asshole.
It's a little mean-spirited.
Like, it's very mean-spirited.
And who's
trying to pretend that you're not.
Who's to say Because the last 2 Sundays I went to a Catholic service. Who's to say, whatever religion you are, but who's to say you can't be a good Christian person and still be a gay male, a lesbian woman, et cetera, et cetera? Like, who said that? Like, where did that become, the end all be all? Where did you write that up? That, as far as like Candace, where did you write that up in your head?
Well,
That
they go. It's a passage in the Bible that alludes to that.
But it's a misconstrued passage. We all know. I don't want to get into what it is.
No, but
Let's move on.
Yeah, but it also it goes to that thing. But you're right, and that's like, I grew up Catholic, and I don't want to turn this into a religious thing. But at the end of the day, the message is God forgives all, God loves all, and that's what we're supposed to take away. And we are not the judges.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. Is
except God loves all, God
judges us to judge, right?
God loves all, God judges all, except for you and your boyfriend. It's like
right.
Really, that's gonna be the problem, especially if a lot of people are, these great couples, like please. And then the last thing too, and gosh, we should first say, damn it, Candace Cameron Bure. In another time, she was my first, like one of my first girl crushes. I was, I was a kid. Yeah. She was a kid, it was Full House. I was like, ooh, who is that? But then she got overshadowed by, do you know who? She got overshadowed by Amy Dolenz in Look Who's Talking. What's it called? It was called Tony Danza was in the movie. She's Out of Control. Do you remember?
Oh, I do remember that.
So movie. Candace Cameron was like, ooh, what I was also 8 years old, 10 years old while Full House was airing. I was like, oh, Candace Cameron, wow. Was it DJ Tanner? And then all of a sudden I watched She's Out of Control, and I says, oh, Amy Dolenz. And then as my story goes, it changed completely. But you know what? Another thing, Candace Cameron, you also got to think about what you're doing to the people that are in that world. There are good Christian people who are keeping these things suppressed. And there are people who are turning to suicide because, they're in a turmoil between your lack of openness or whatever. So just really worry about that. And again, we weren't going to make this a thing about that, but that's just something I want to express. I know, but there's many stories of good Christian, people who have had to turn to the ultimate, thing based on not feeling comfortable. So we got to make the holidays comfortable.
And at the end of the day, as whatever religion you believe in and all that, the message, I believe, is linear when it's like, we are not the judges. We are not the ones to judge other people. So stop doing it. Just whatever you believe, everybody should respect and, that or whatever, but just keep the judgments to yourself because you are not the one to judge. So just, in the holiday spirit and all of that, it's just like, have fun with it, embrace it, be around good family and friends, and just everyone should learn to just be accepting. And when Judgment Day comes, people can figure it out when they're toe to toe with whoever they believe they're going to be toe to toe with.
As we wrap it up, I think what we should be focusing on is building together as a community, of people. One of the greatest things we saw on the OC 100 years ago when it used to air, or it wasn't 100 years ago, but in the early 2000s, was, they built like a Christmas celebration. You could celebrate the different, celebrations together. And that actually came up on my favorite TV show, my favorite sitcom of today. The great Mayim Bialik did a Christmas episode on Call Me Kat. So, this is what we want in our television
don't forget about Festivus for the Rest of Us from Seinfeld.
Yeah. Good one. Yeah. And this is not just what we see on the TV. This is what we want in person and, IRL, with the way you talk with your friends and your family and the people that you also don't know and understand. Anyways, Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
'Tis the season for the reason.
Have so much fun watching as much Christmas stuff as you can.
Especially do the Home Alone.
Yeah, there you
go. Last holiday, if you were to do a Christmas card, what would it be?
A Christmas card?
Yeah, give me your digital Christmas card. Oh, you're not ready. Okay.
Wait, I'm not ready. Like, you give me yours. Wait, I don't like.
Okay, here's my digital Christmas card. I may be grumpy sometimes, but during the holiday season, it's all red and green, and it's festive, and it's nice, and it's fancy. Have a great holiday season. That is mine. Good, huh?
That's a good one.
Should we just go with that?
Let's just go with that. Yeah. Clearly, I'm not that creative.
No, you are. We gotta go. Bye.